Welcome everyone. This is a new tutorial about composing with bach.keys. In this episode, I'm going to look at the bach.roll object, and in particular how to navigate the bach.roll object and how to select content, parse through different parts of the score. So let's start by having our bach.roll initialized in our patch, and then what I like to do is actually have a receive object for all of the messages that are going to be received by the bach.roll, and have all of my all of my message sent from another part of the patch, just to make it a little neater. So the first message we're going to look at is the read message for the bach.roll object. Whenever we send a read message to bach.roll, a dialog window will appear and allowing us to select a MIDI file. So the bach.roll can accept MIDI files or native formats, meaning the LLLL files. While the bach.score, which is the other score object in the Bach library, also accept the music XLM file. So if we create a read message, I will be able to select a MIDI file. So how do we go about navigating this score? Well, first of all, if the patch is unlocked, I can drag the roll object to resize it. And whenever I lock the patch, then I can drag the scroll bar at the bottom. Let's get a bigger MIDI file like this one, which will be harder to navigate because we have a lot of content. So another way to zoom in horizontally is to lock the patch and then holding down Control or Command, and then use the mouse wheel to scroll through horizontally. I can select content and delete content if I want, undo and stuff like that. There are occasions in which I might want to have more specific control over this object and to, for instance, go to a specific point in my bach.roll. And in that case, I can send a message to the bach.roll, which is set cursor. There is an autocomplete feature in Max which tries to guess what attribute you're trying to control, and the set cursor actually appears automatically. I can send the set cursor a argument in milliseconds about where I want the cursor to be. Before I do that, I want to get rid of all of these markers, which are confusing at this point. We're going to send a message cell markers and then delete. We're going to look at the select message soon enough, but for now I just wanted to get rid of these markers. So the set cursor, I can, with the set cursor message, I can parse through the score. I have to send a message, show playhead 1. Now I have my playhead that appeared here in green, and I can move it. But as you can see, since the score is very long and I'm controlling in milliseconds, then this might not be the best way of scrolling through a score. I want to send a message get length to the bach.roll. The get length message will output an attribute of the score, which is length of the whole score in milliseconds. So if I do a bach print here and print, I will have the length. I will get the length of the score. So now I can see here how the length of the score is in milliseconds is 749 seconds and change. So important to notice how this message is being output from the playout outlet of the score. So the bach.keys object is simply the root object in max. So it will check whether the incoming message matches one of its arguments, and in this case it's length. And if it does match that argument, it will output that from its corresponding outlet. So now, if I send the get length message, I will get rid of the keyword length and just output my the value itself. I need to translate this message into a message that Max can read. So to do that, we do a portal at out true or t, and that will give me the value that I need in a max readable format. So at this point, I can create a slider. I like to create slider with float output 1 and size 1, so that what's coming out of here will always be between 0 and 1. Now I have my output of my slider is going to be proportional to the length of the score, and the set cursor will just be, the cursor will, I can slide through the score using my slider. If I do go to time and the same argument, and then I have to also give it at this attribute in screen 1. So now I can scroll through the score easily. Whenever I get a new MIDI file, I will trigger all the messages that I have created here. Let's look at the select message. So the select message in Bach works. It's a powerful tool to select content in the score. We can select content based on virtually any musical attribute in the score or roll. We can select pitch, onset, voice number, velocity, dynamic marking only in the Bach score though. All of these attributes can be entered as ranges, which is very useful. The select message has to be followed by a specific order of attributes. If some attributes are irrelevant to my search, then I will have to enter the keyword nil, N-I-L, as a placeholder in the spot where the attribute is supposed to be. So this is the order that I need to make sure I follow whenever I send a select message. So if I want to select, say, a part of the score, to do some operation only on that part, on the section of the score, then I can create a range slider. A range slider with, I like to give it at least output, list mode 1, and then a size of 1000 to get some accuracy from it. So this is my range slider that now goes from 0 to 1000 in giving me the left and the right edge of the range. So that's good. If I multiply this by if I divide it by 1000 with a VX per object, because it's a list and I cannot use just a simple operation object. Now I have ranges between 0 and 1, and if I multiply this by, actually let's do that. If I multiply this by my length of the score. So I need to resend the get length, of course. Okay, so now I have my proportion. So this will be my start in milliseconds and end in milliseconds. And let's say I just want to select that, and I want to select that for all of the voices. Then what I need to send is just a cell $1, $2, nil, nil, nil. So the end, start sends, end sends, and voice number are going to be left empty. And if I send this to my bach.roll, then I will see my selection there. So one thing I'm noticing is that if I send a select message and then I send a new select message, then the previous selection is not erased. So what I can do is do an uncell all, comma, and then select a new portion. So now, whenever I select a new part, the previous selection is deselected. It's working fine now, but it's a good idea to just put a mouse filter, not mouse state, mouse mouse filter here, so that only when I release the mouse, I will get the new selection. If I want to display only the part that I selected, I can give the send the score a message domain $1, $2 to display the part that I have selected. So the domain message is to display a certain region of the score. I could do just a simple cell all and then unselect this part. You can get rid of this. Then let's add a just switch to, and so I can choose the mode that I want to operate. So now I can choose whether I want to deselect that part. So now my selection is operating in inverse. So now I'm deselecting whatever I don't want. So now I can send a message whenever I want to delete my selection. I can just send a message delete to the score.